Welcome back to Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, we're going to discuss the mechanism of action of statin medications, and then also discuss how coenzyme Q or CoQ supplementation may help or play a role in individuals who take statin medications, and we'll see why based on this very simplified pathway here for the synthesis of cholesterol. So what do statins do in layman's terms? Statins decrease total cholesterol. At least that's in theory what they do. Now, in a little more specific biochemical terms, what statin medications do is they decrease the body's ability to synthesize cholesterol. You should know that out of all the cholesterol that you get, only about 25% of cholesterol comes from the diet on average. The other 75% of cholesterol is actually made through this simplified de novo biosynthesis pathway. So only 25% actually comes from the diet. So a better way, or at least in theory a good way, to actually reduce total cholesterol is to shut off the major source of it, or at least slow it down, and that's the synthesis pathway. Now, very specifically, what statins do is they inhibit this enzyme right here. This enzyme is called HMG-CoA reductase. And in terms of specifically cholesterol synthesis, HMG-CoA reductase is the committed step. So once this molecule, which is HMG-CoA, once it reacts with this HMG-CoA reductase to form this molecule called mevalonate, that metabolite, mevalonate, is now committed to at least isoprenoid synthesis, which can be used to make cholesterol. And so, in theory, if you shut off this enzyme, or at least slow it down, you're going to slow down the synthesis of cholesterol. But let's go into this in a little more detail and see what we actually do in this pathway. During times of anabolism, when we've got plenty of energetic molecules like acetyl-CoA floating around, high energy charge, we're going to siphon acetyl-CoA off of the TCA cycle. And we can actually condense two molecules of acetyl-CoA together with the action of thiolase to make this molecule called acetoacetyl-CoA. Then acetoacetyl-CoA can react with this enzyme HMG-CoA synthase. We'll actually condense another acetyl group from acetyl-CoA with it, and we'll actually get this molecule beta-hydroxy beta-methylglutaryl-CoA. Most people just refer to this in short as HMG-CoA. Now, this molecule right here, HMG-CoA, serves as a crossroads in metabolism, and it really depends on the cell type, and then also it depends on the energy charge and what the body needs. If you're low on energy and you are in a state of catabolism, then HMG-CoA can react with an HMG-CoA lyase to produce ketone bodies. But as we mentioned, we're in a time of anabolism with plenty of energy, so HMG-CoA reductase will consume HMG-CoA to produce mevalonate. Once you generate mevalonate, mevalonate will react with a series of enzymes to generate the major isoprenoid building blocks. And I have a video on that if you'd like to see more detail on that. But in any case, these isoprenoid building blocks can proceed into one of three major pathways in humans. One, they can actually be added to a variety of metabolites. We call them prenylated metabolites. One very good example, if you'd like to Google it, is heme A. There's lots of different kinds of hemes, but specifically heme A has an isoprenoid tail that looks very similar to what we see up here in CoQ, except it's quite a bit shorter. And there's other examples as well. Isoprenoids can also be used to generate coenzyme Q, or CoQ. And coenzyme Q is a major coenzyme in the electron transport chain that's used by one of the enzymes. I believe it's actually complex 3 of the mitochondria. And it's used to actually shuttle electrons around. Okay. Again, I have a video on that as well. We'll come back to that later. The third pathway, which is really sort of the major one that's usually considered, is that isoprenoids can be used to generate cholesterol. Now, this is a very long and convoluted biosynthetic pathway, so I'm not going to show it in its full detail by any means here. But in general, the isoprenoids, through another multi-step process, will generate squalene, a very large condensation product of many different isoprenoids. And then squalene, through another very long multi-step process, can be converted to the immediate precursor to cholesterol, which is called 7-dehydrocholesterol. Now, the reason I show 7-dehydrocholesterol here is it actually is a branch point as well. 7-dehydrocholesterol through another multi-step process that's quite a bit shorter can actually be used to generate vitamin D, and the active form being calcitriol or calcitriol. Okay, so that's one pathway. But 7-dehydrocholesterol can also react with this enzyme, 7-dehydrocholesterol reductase, to generate cholesterol. Okay, so hopefully this has come a little bit full circle. So we take this HMG-CoA, convert it to mevalonate through this enzyme HMGA-CoA reductase, and we get cholesterol. Now obviously the cholesterol can be used as well to make bile acids, another multi-step process, and the different steroids such as testosterone, estradiol, cortisol, etc. But cholesterol in some ways can be considered the grand product of this pathway. Now, remember what statin medications do, such as lovastatin, that's one example of one, that's the first one made, they actually inhibit HMG-CoA reductase. So in theory, let's think about what that would do. If you inhibit HMG-CoA reductase, the committed step in this whole process over here, then logically speaking, your total synthesis of cholesterol should go down. Right? And so assuming that your dietary intake of cholesterol does not change, then the overall cholesterol amount in your body should decrease. And historically, statin medications have been used to lower total cholesterol. Okay? And they do that by inhibiting HMG-CoA reductase. What I'd also like to do while we're here is discuss the various other aspects of this pathway that might be deleteriously or negatively affected by statin intake. So again, statins inhibit HMG-CoA reductase. So what's going to happen to the levels of mevalonate when somebody is on a statin medication? The levels of mevalonate, they're going to drop because you're inhibiting this enzyme, so there's not going to be as much conversion of HMG-CoA into mevalonate, so less mevalonate. And really, it's fairly straightforward. Less mevalonate means less of all this stuff. All of it. Because if you have less of the starting material, mevalonate, then you're going to have less isoprenoids, less cholesterol, less vitamin D, less steroids, less bile acids, and really the major thing I wanted to mention is less CoQ. Now again, as you can see here kind of on the on top of the screen, you may have seen some commercials on TV that advertise for individuals on a statin regimen. They may want to supplement coenzyme Q, and there's various types of coenzyme Q that you can actually supplement. And the reason that you want to supplement coenzyme Q in particular is because if you have a coenzyme Q deficiency, it's going to compromise the efficiency of the electron transport chain or electron transport system, however you want to call it. And that's because, remember, the complex 3 of the mitochondria uses coenzyme Q as a coenzyme to transfer electrons. If you're running short on CoQ because either you don't get enough of it through the diet, or in particular, you're decreasing its availability through synthesis by taking a statin, then you are potentially compromising the electron transport chain. And hopefully at this point, if you're watching this video, you understand the vital importance of the electron transport chain and its maximal efficiency and function. So, if you're shutting down the synthesis of cholesterol through a statin, you're also shutting down the synthesis of mevalonate and also CoQ. And so that is why individuals who are on statins are often advised to take a CoQ supplement. But really, all of these molecules that I have in red here, they're all going to suffer at least to some extent. I would also argue that for people who are taking a statin medication, they might also want to consider taking a vitamin D supplement, just because that's also going to shut down as well, even though you can get some of that through the diet. But again, the de novo biosynthesis pathway is a major source of vitamin D as well, so a supplement there would not hurt also. So to conclude this video, let's do a quick summary. So, acetyl-CoA can be used to synthesize HMG-CoA, which will then be consumed by HMG-CoA reductase, the committed step of cholesterol synthesis to make mevalonate. And then mevalonate is used in different pathways to make all of this: cholesterol, vitamin D, bile acids, steroids, prenylated molecules, and coenzyme Q. If we take a statin medication, we inhibit HMG-CoA reductase, so we turn down, or at least slow down, the synthesis of mevalonate. And so if we shut down the synthesis or slow down the synthesis of mevalonate, then all this stuff over here suffers, including cholesterol and coenzyme Q. And even though the lowering cholesterol may be what we want, it's sort of a byproduct or a side effect that coenzyme Q synthesis actually decreases, and so it may be advisable to supplement a coenzyme Q. All right, and even a vitamin D. So please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future videos and notifications. Thank you very much.